history of a body. 1. Today, this body is all parts and no whole. It is avoiding the punishments of every reflective surface or being glued to one, tugging and pulling and turning and sucking, negotiating with my own reflection. 2. An unopened box of condoms has been sitting in my drawer for weeks. I bought them feeling empowered, smiling brightly at the woman at the CVS checkout counter, but instead, I leave them untouched. Use ones in his room as we have sex that means nothing to me. Maybe I go just to feel his eyes, to be worth seeing, but it's hard to be seen in the dark with only the blue fluorescence of his alarm clock to see by. I sink, enveloped by the wave of his body, its crash against mine, his tongue pushing its way into my mouth. The next morning, I walk home early. 3. It's been months since I've taken a good look at myself, held myself at arm's length, held my own gaze. 4. You ask me over coffee if people tell me I'm beautiful. 5. We sit in the park and she tells me she doesn't know if we can be friends. She says I've changed or lost part of myself. We both know she's thinking in pounds. 6. I am feeling my way out of this cavern, tracing my fingers along its edges to get a sense of the size of the thing, the texture of its walls, the wetness of the air, this masterpiece of geologic creation. How many years has it been forming? 7. My mother tells me it's a pleasure to look at me, and I am unable to meet her eyes, to see that they are full of love. 8. Let me feel my way back to myself, back to my body on a rust-colored sleeping pad in half lotus, vibrating slightly, aching slightly. 9. When I meet my mother's friends, we hug and they look at her. Your daughter is so beautiful, they congratulate her. 10. This body is ambivalence. It is the gratitude I feel for health and newfound nerve endings amongst the tiny paper flowers in the attic and the unopened bag of fruit leather. It is the way my feet fall somewhat clumsily and that I am glad of the way they remind me of my own presence. 11. This body is inescapable. This body is writing the line, it is good to know that others can want you even if you don't like what you see. 12. A month before we break up, I ask her why she loves me. And at first, I do not notice that her response is a list that begins with, your body.